right, Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh,
How
Bahashem,
Hashem,
Yahweh
Yahweh
Shai,
Shai.
Bahashem, Machakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to all you Joachim out there who pushing his word with all truth and sincerity, and as well as all you believers out there who believe in on the gospel. And there's a couple of brothers from the Great Millstone Houston camp. I'm the brother Kwara Abad, and as always, we got the beloved Taza Pa. As always, the Wadi Bashim Shai for blessing us with this opportunity to come back another week to bring forth or to touch on this news that's been happening. Which is a lot going on, but it's a few prophecies that we focus on, which we pay attention to everything that's going on, but it's a couple of major prophecies that deserve a little more attention, which we know is the MOTB, which is the greatest prophecy that's left. That's because that's going to kickstart the other ones, which is World War III, which ultimately going to lead to America being destroyed, man. Jacob's trouble going to happen. Everything that's said to happen going to happen in the midst of those prophecies coming to pass, man. You see, which in the news, you've been having World War III lately as well, and also this digital system. Tonight we'll touch on, we got a few various topics, but also another prophecy which is going to take place during Jacob's trouble will be a famine. A famine of, food and of hearing the word of the Lord. And we'll touch on that a little bit, and how also you got these governments continuing to work towards NWO system, which is a New World Order system. And it ain't just America or NATO or the EU, it's all nations, man. Russia right along with America. You see Ukraine right along with Russia, Israel right along with Palestine. Everybody eventually will be working towards the same program, man. And I think you said that last week, Elder Tazapar, although Russia coming against America and these other nations, at the end of the day, they got to be on the same page in order for this new world order to work, man.
Right. And that was Lamb. That was Lamb backing on Elder Ariala on his video. He was saying the same thing, but this is what we understand here at Great Millstone, that because we deal with prophecy, and that's how we know it's a secret. Pursuing Amos 3 and 6, Amos chapter 3 verses 6 and 7. All right, these are secrets that we are privy to. That if you're not locked in to the prophets, to the men of the Lord, that you won't know, you won't see it. But I was in a sense reiterating what Elder Ariala was saying, and he was just saying that we can't lose sight of that. All right. And when we're going into these different articles and stuff, just understanding that we are in the theater. There's a lot of fake news, a lot of distractions. We are in the theater, all right, of war. So, just to keep that in mind. But yeah, brother.
I'll grab this quick precept. We can hop into it. This from the brother Spiritual Arc 144. It says Habakkuk 2 and 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come and will not tarry. And what's the vision? That's the prophecies. And the Lord set it for a specific time to happen, and we living in that time. That's why it's planned out. The words in this book is actually speaking, man. Now the Lord giving us tangible proof to back up what we've been saying. But if you ain't got nothing, Elder Tazapar, we can hop straight into it.
Yeah, I just say shalom to the the Akyam and the Akwa that are tuned in and that maybe watch later. Shalom to y'all. Great Millstone Houston here again in the power and the spirit of Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai. So the water to y'all for tuning in. But yeah, it's on you, brother.
Okay. So we'll start with this to kick off the various topics portion. Now I know brothers and sisters heard of this event that took place last week, I believe, a couple of days ago, this past weekend. Brothers touched on it, but over there in Saudi Arabia, they had a Hajj festival. Where all the believers of I guess Muslims, come, they make their pilgrimage. You know how us as Israelites, we gotta go to Jerusalem 3 times a year, for certain high holy days. Well, these heathens was traveling, making a pilgrimage to Saudi Arabia to go over there to that box, that black box that's sitting in the middle of the courtyard, and worship there, worship Allah, which all Allah means is power, God. But what's his name? You see, but in this event where they go and worship a false god, a black box, the Lord had a couple of them be put to death. And we've been talking about these weather patterns that's been going on, how is strange weather patterns. How we expect, death from hurricanes or tornadoes or so on and so forth. Well, the Lord gave a example that he can do it with something we see every day. The sunrise every day. These people, look, they ain't having any forecast that a earthquake was going to hit and open up the ground. It was supposed to be a sunny, nice day. Well, the Lord killed them just like that with the sun. He just turned it up a little bit, man. But we could be seeing a lot more of this. People who worship false gods, serve false idols, even heathens. Not just, we know it's Jacob's trouble, but these heathens about to get touched too. But it says more than 1,300 people died during Hajj, and many of them after walking in the scorching heat. And we ain't gonna read into it too much. They say it was over 1,300 people. I read the first paragraph. It says more than 1,300 people died during this year's Hajj pilgrimage in Saudi Arabia, as the faithful face extreme heat temperatures at Islamic holy sites in a desert kingdom. Saudi authorities announced Sunday. And look, so your God can't keep you from the heat. This God you're going to serve, you walked all the way over there and you get over there, he can't keep you from dying of heat. Because there ain't no true power, man. The true power is the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahweh Shah, the one who made the sun. You see, we got it in our accounts of our forefathers that the Lord took men out of a furnace of fire. But which goes to show these guys of these other nations, they nothing but idols, man.
Yep.
You got some advertiser power?
Yeah, man, let me go here. This is
I got 1, 2 after you.
hang on 1 second, brother. Okay. Brother, go to that.
What you want me to go to?
Go to that verse where it speak about Remphan.
All right, that's the thing.
And show you why the Most High dropped these niggas or them clowns. Now this is out the Zondervan's Bible Dictionary for Remphan. All right, it says a pagan deity worshipped by the Israelites in the wilderness. And then it cites Acts chapter 37 through 50. It says it is probably a name for Chiun, that's Chiun, or Saturn. And then it cites Amos 5 and 26. But yeah, that black box is a replica, or the cube, the black cube is symbolic for Satan. Well, Satan or Saturn. It's symbolic for Saturn. Now that star Remphan, that's the 6-pointed star, which when you look at the north, I guess it's the North Pole. I think at both poles of Saturn, Esau allegedly has pictures of it, and it's a hexagon at both the poles. And this is what that black box represents, that hexagon. And if I had a picture I could show you, but that's nothing more than a cult. All that Islam, that's just a cult of Saturn. All right. That's all it is. So yeah, the Most High, he's sick of this shit. He's sick of all this shit. But quoting what the brother read Habakkuk chapter 2, that the vision is yet for an appointed time. All right. And that time hadn't fully been dispensed. So the Most High is true to his word. He has to let these see in the hexagon is right in the center of that star. It's a hexagram. And if you had the eyes to see, you can see. I can see it because I know it. That hexagon forms a cube. All right. Well, this is what that's about. All right. They're worshiping the creature more than the creator.
Mm-hmm.
And this is another reason why Yahweh Shah has to come back. If you ever played with, drawing a cube, you can see the hexagram in there, and the cube in the hexagram, and the hexagram in the cube. And I guarantee you, a majority of them people out there don't even know what they're into or what they're worshiping. But yeah, that's a cult of Remphan or Saturn. So yeah, that was all I had on it. The Most High, he just getting warmed up. That's the intro. You'll get all you goddamn Baptists, Catholics, you Islamists, all y'all, man, y'all about to get it. But you got it out.
Kind of real quick, this Psalms 97:7 NLT. It says, "Those who worship idols are disgraced." And or that KJV and the NIV says, "Put to shame." It says, "Those who boast in idols worship him, all ye gods." But the point is, no matter what these people say, what is my religion? Respect. I mean, gotta show respect, to their religion, man. It's fake. Yo, God not real. He can't do nothing in the earth, And this example, if they God could do something, he would have kept them from dying in the heat, which he don't even control. Our God control the heat, the sun. You see? But other than that, that's pretty much it on that topic. If you don't know, you have something else.
No, just to quote what Apostle Tahar said, here it is. You go and worship your God in one of the most holiest, that's like the Most High dropping us at Passover. But this is one of your most holiest days, and your God can't keep you alive. And still you got people not going to consider. But yeah, that was it.
So we'll move on. Just to highlight this, I know last week we touched on how in Louisiana they passed a law to where they go mandate that all public schools have the 10 Commandments within the classrooms. Well, a couple of days later, Nas come out that those citizens or people in Louisiana, they ain't with it. The parents ain't with it, showing you these people are for the left hand. Remember in Revelation 11, it says that great city was what? Not just spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, but also where our Lord was crucified. America is the main hub of anti-Yahweh Shah activity. So it's not a surprise. First, it was a surprise that they even wanted these 10 Commandments in the schools. Now it's not a surprise that the community, so-called, going against it. They don't want that in there. You see? But which further shows this why this place got to get destroyed, man. Because it's don't abide by the way of the law. And it's clearly and continuing to further stray away from it. But I'll read this real quick. It's from RT News, was put out today. It says the United States, the U.S. state, sued, which is Louisiana, sued over 10 Commandments law. Activists are seeking to overturn Louisiana's new requirement for the religious text to be posted in public schools. And it goes into the complaint how they say it was harmful to our kids because what we believe. And if they coming with to what the laws will be put into place in the world, whether you believe them or not. But it says the American Liberties Union, ACLU, and other activist groups have joined with 9 Louisiana families to sue the state over a new law that requires publicly funded schools to post copies of the 10 Commandments in classrooms. That's pretty much it. I posted in the chat, which is a show, a few days ago, the law was just passed. Now, a couple of days later, the people don't want it. They don't want the law word to be in school. Their children to hear it. But it's okay to have pride reading sessions for the children, though. That's
Exactly.
why Psalm 2 says, all across of the world is roughly paraphrasing is out of course. Everything is upside down, man. But you got it.
Yeah, the foundations of the world are out of course.
Cool.
But yeah, the Most High is doing this or letting this be done as a testimony. So now can't nobody say shit when fires start raining on this place. Because here it is, y'all been rejected the prophets. Now you directly rejecting the word of the Lord. Mm-hmm. And as you just said, y'all can have grown men in drag or butt naked, slightly butt naked, gyrating and dancing in front of children. Nobody's saying nothing about that. You scared you're gonna get counseled, but what y'all don't understand, the one you need to worry about being counseled by is the Most High, and He's getting ready to counsel this entire goddamn continent.
Right.
And I mean goddamn in every sense of the word. This place is God forsaken, and this is the proof. If it wasn't for the prophets, if it wasn't for the word of the Lord, this place would bend and toe itself apart.
Yep.
But you got it, brother.
Kind of real quick, and Shalom Tala Akim Akwath, who may be tuning in, Yahweh Shemal Shabrak Thumb. I grabbed this quick one. I grabbed the brother Yahweh first since we just quoted it. Psalms 82 and 5. They know not, and when you go a verse up or 2 verses, it says the wicked. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness, and all the foundations of the earth are out of course. See, in our kingdom, you ain't gonna have a choice, and you ain't gonna sue, Yahweh Shai and 144 the government because you don't want to keep the law. We gonna force y'all to follow our ways in that day, man. Psalms 50 and 16. But unto the wicked, the Most High saith, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth?
That's right.
Seeing thou hatest instruction and castest my word behind thee, which we know, the law was initially talking to Jacob, but we can use this for Esau as well, because he's likened unto the wicked, and he took the law word. So the law asking him, what business you got, Esau, to take my word, seeing you gonna cast it behind you anyway. Cain did it. Cain did it. He knew what to offer up. He ain't do right by it. So on and so forth. Your descendants throughout, y'all knew what to do. Esau, this man had the birthright. He knew what that birthright contained, and he still said, man, this ain't gonna do nothing for me. He threw the blessing behind him. So the law is saying, what, being funny for this article, what business y'all had to pass in the law in the first place to put my commandments in y'all schools? Seeing, as it says, now Louisiana been sued because y'all gonna cast them behind y'all anyway. Y'all not gonna keep them. It's for sure, man.
That's what I said last week.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not gonna enforce it, what's the point? So yeah, bro.
Can I read one more? The other bro Bakwasha, Shalom. Matthew 24 and 22. And except those days should be shortened, there shall no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. And that's what we're waiting on, man, because this place about to get even more freakier. And moving on to the next portion of the various topics, time's about to get even more harder. And even for us, we're gonna be here, we're gonna be here too. But we got to go into with the mindset of this judgment is for the wicked, for these people. We got to be looking forward to the mercy being shown, divine intervention. But time's about to get even more harder than it was yesterday or today. You see? And that's for everybody. And as you see from this title, this is from CNNbusiness.com. And this was put out yesterday, June 26th. It says, even wealthy Americans are struggling to make ends meet. The Lord ain't just touching third world countries no more. He ain't just touching, those in Detroit and Chicago. No, he touching everybody now, man. And when I read this, I thought of this precept. I'll get it real quick. When the Lord started judging ancient Egypt, this is how it was. I think it's the GNT. Let me see. Let me get the GNT. But the point is, it ain't sooner or later, it ain't gonna be no the middle class already going away. Let me see.
Yeah.
But soon these bosses, CEOs, they're gonna be struggling just like the employees, man. Just like the janitor, they walk by every day, right? They're gonna be struggling right along with them people. And we about to see that. The Lord ain't about to spare somebody because they famous or got subscribers. Everybody about to suffer real quick. Now, this is what happened in Egypt when the Lord started judging them. This Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 18 and verse 11 in the GNT. It says, the master, that's likened to a boss, a CEO, or for the title's sake, wealthy people. It says, the master and the servant were punished after one manner. And like as the king, so suffered the common person. I thought of this scripture as soon as I read that. Let's read it again. The master and the servant were punished after one manner. So the boss and his worker, they always judge together. I like to say LeBron James will be in a concentration camp with his biggest fan one day. And the biggest fan ain't gonna care that's LeBron James right there. It says, and like as the king, so suffered the common person. So going back to this article, it says even wealthy Americans are struggling to make ends meet. You have some Elder Tyson Power before I read a little bit of this?
No, you good, brother.
Okay, kind. It ain't gonna be much I'm gonna read because these other two other few articles after this add on to the downfall and the struggles that these people about to go through. Because it ain't just the wealthy people, but it also going into people ain't really getting jobs like the Biden administration said jobs was going up. That was a lie. They're calling it a restaurant apocalypse. A lot of restaurants closing. And not just that, people who retired thought they was good. They escaped the American nightmare and finally could get that American dream now that they 75 years old. They finding out, damn, I gotta go back to work because they broke now. Time's still hard. Look, this your retirement. You just had the retirement party at the office, but now you gotta go ask for the job back because time's too hard. These average Americans now they about to feel what these other people in the world been going through, man. But going back to this one, it says from this one, wealthy Americans are struggling to make ends meet. It says about 1 in 3 Americans making 6-figure salaries are worried about paying their bills. You should be good, right now. You got it.
6 figures ain't no money today. That's it.
Mm-hmm. It says, according to a new survey from the Federal Reserve Bank of Philadelphia, it says the survey finds a notable increase over the past year of consumers making $100,000 a year or more who are concerned about making ends meet over the next 12 months. A significant share of wealthier Americans are coping with financial pressure by cutting spending, including dialing back restaurant visits. And it ain't just, that they dial. And see, hard times, people are dialing back going to restaurants, and therefore restaurants, they got to close. They ain't getting the same Sunday fun days and happy hours no more. People got to decide if they're going to do something for their children or pay that bill or, or gas. Ain't no more margaritas, man. It says and entertainment. Hey, that Netflix subscription, now you're scratching your head. That gotta go. And let's see. Right, it says younger Americans are likely to be feeling the pressure, the financial pressure, than older. And even with that, if older got children, the children forced to go to the parents. But I read this little part. It says at the end, the mood was all gloomy, right? And it goes into the numbers. We'll put this in the chat too. And I just highlight this real quick. So this came out yesterday as well, just to show the economy ain't going up. You know, a light ain't at the end of the tunnel, like Ecclesiastes, the 12th chapter say. If a brother want to post that, how when you look out the window, it's nothing but darkness. There's no hope, man. When you look out into this society, what's gonna make it better? Biden or Trump, which we gonna highlight that. They got the debate coming on tonight. You see, but they ain't gonna make it better. There's no hope for these people, man. It's all downhill. But you know how the Biden administration, they've been boasting about how they've been pulling unemployment up out the gutter and how a lot of people getting jobs. Well, a report in California found out that that was a lie. It says from nationalnews.com, reports find alleged 2023 job gains in California and actual employment figures do not match. And two, I seen this video. It's not in the article, but a guy was saying, I forget what his name was, but the jobs that even the Biden administration help people get is not a job to sustain your life. You know, that's like a part-time thing. You know, nothing to keep a family afloat. You see? But I read a little bit of this. It says a newly published report from California's Legislative Analyst Office, LAO, reveals that the state government's claims of massive job growth in the Golden State are false. And again, it's not just California, it's all over America. It says the LAO's latest report, newest early job revision, shows no net growth during 2023. And it reveals a stark contrast between previously reported job gains and actual employment figures in this labor market. Now check these numbers out. It says the revised data reveals that California lost 32,000 jobs from September 23 through December 23, right? Contrasting sharply with preliminary monthly reports that claimed an increase of 117,000 jobs during the same period. In other words, the LAO report has found that California saw virtually no net job growth with a minimal overall increase of so out of all that, 9,000 jobs throughout 2023. So we see why people struggling. Ain't no opportunity out here either. But us in the know should understand what's going on. They force you to have no opportunity. So you can come to the government and you looking for the handouts. And that's going to open way for that new digital currency, man. Times need to be made hard so people gonna have to depend on the government. That's where it's going ultimately. You got some other times of pot? That was it on this one.
Nah, you good, brother.
Kind. And just to highlight this one real quick, it says this was put out yesterday as well from Natural News. Casual dining restaurant chain Hooters, and it ain't just Hooters when you read the article. Hooters closes several locations nationwide as restaurant apocalypse worsen. And it's that restaurant apocalypse, because if it was just Hooters, then it wouldn't be. No, it's happening in many states to many different businesses. Whether it's little mom and pop stores, which a lot of them got hit beginning with the CV. You know, not mainly you got certain chains and the big box stores. Well, you know, some mom and pop stores survive, restaurants survive, you know, but a lot of them go get hit this next go around. Then what's going to be left? The big box stores who are already in league with the WEF, you know, the government, the Fed now, so on and so forth. Right, which we ain't got to read this one. Just want to highlight that. Matter of fact, I get a precept too. I get Isaiah 19. This is Isaiah 19. I'll read a little bit of it. And we can play that Julian Hassan's video after this one. But real quick, it says, let's see, it was one somewhere. And at the end of this article, it goes into other restaurants closing across the world. But the point is, businesses are closing. Now, again, that's Bible prophecy for this new spiritual Egypt. Now, in Isaiah 19 is going into the spiritual Egypt and its downfall. Now, check this out.
That's right.
Isaiah 19.
Go ahead, brother.
I'll read it. You want to speak on it?
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll start at 14. This is Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 14. It says, the Lord have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit.
Now that verse right there, that fit right in with the Ten Commandment article that you brought out previously, you know, because like we were saying, you reject the word of the Lord, but you accept perversion. That's because you are how should I put it? Well, most of the people here in America are what's that term? Possessed by spirits of perversion, unclean spirits. So it's just like when you read 1 John 3 and 16 to on to around 20 or 21, it tell you about, well, it speaks about around the 18th, 19th verse. It says, neither do they come to the light because their deeds were wicked. So something like the Ten Commandments, you know, I mean, what harm is that? What that's gonna hurt? But no, because your deeds are wicked, you know, and the Ten Commandments are a source of light, you flee from the light. You get offended by the light. Something that's here for our welfare and our benefit, people get offended by it. And mainly our people, the children of Israel, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans predominantly. You know, here in the North, well, the article is talking about Louisiana, so I'm speaking, you know, about the Israelites here in North America, but wherever you may be around the world, you know, Israel is spread worldwide due to the curses. But yeah, that's a perverse spirit. Then here it is, you reject something that's for your benefit, you know, and then not to mention all of the other stuff that comes with America, especially this time of the month or this time of the year, this entire month. All this pride nonsense. But you got it. Hit it one more time, verse 14.
Kind of got you. This is Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 14. It says, the Lord have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man.
Cause Egypt to err in every work, you know. So yeah, now you know they're erring according to that article. Want to sue, but they ain't suing about the Jews. They ain't suing about, you know, shit that they should be up in arms for and things that they should be upset about. They're not. But anyway, go ahead.
It says, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggereth in his own vomit. Verse 15, and it's that point going into all these businesses and restaurants closing. Verse 15, neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do.
Yeah, and unemployment is up, and I believe that was Yellow. You know, Yellow trucking lines shut down last year, the year before. Time moving so fast, it's hard to keep up. And I believe that was Yellow trucking lines. That was a major trucking line. Well, they're not the only ones. All right. And America is systematically being shut down by its own government due to them speaking as a dragon, passing these draconian laws, and just evil and predatory practices put out by the government, just like when you get ready to go into the famine situation. And this is why the the devils that founded this country, they did say one thing good, or try to establish that, that the government should be by the people and for the people. Well, somehow, somewhere that changed. And now, well, I can't, well, no, yeah, yes. Um, Basically 1913 was the major change, going back to the beginnings or the installation of the central bank here in America, the Federal Reserve Bank. That's when the government allowed foreign entities, private individuals, to take ownership of the US government. And then the motherfuckers had the quote to thumb his nose in your face, in your face. I think that was Amsher Meyer Rothschild, when he said, give me control of a nation's or country's money, and I care not who writes his laws. Mm-hmm. And now you people here are feeling that. Now you're feeling that. See, there ain't nothing to a Hebrew Israelite, because we've been broke, we've been poor, we know how to be poor, we know how to adjust. Our whole life is spent on adjusting, making adjustments, adaptation, making the necessary changes needed in order to survive. Now, look, you speaking on that, Roy Jones Jr., son, he just murked himself. He unalived himself. Why? Because he out here catching hell. But, that's Roy Jones Jr.'s son, so he probably used to having whatever the hell he wanted. And then grow up under, and this is what I say about adversity. Yeah, it's uncomfortable. Yeah, it don't feel good, especially you looking at motherfuckers driving by in the Benz with the top down, they on 20s and 30s, and it look like they having all the fun. But that adversity, and the brother posted this today, man. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Barakatah to that brother. And I don't have his name, but it was a post with a rat in the jar full of food. And he just sat there and eating that food, day in, day out, not all at once. But he ate the food down to the bottom of the jar to where he was trapped. Being complacent. You see?
Here you go.
If he'd got out the jar and ate a little bit, got out the jar, go hustle, bring some food back, eat some more. He could have been doing that forever. Niggas don't get it. Yeah, that's it. But see, that adversity, and this is why the Lord is bringing us through the fight. So when Jacob's trouble come, and then we got this word, we can keep a level head. We don't look at murder or suicide as a way out. We understand that, well, Matthew 24:13, he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. We understand these principles, but the world, and I believe June was also Suicide Awareness Month. you know, and come to find out, Jake's offing themselves, you know, and that has a lot to do with society today. But I don't get all into that, brother. But yeah, be thankful. I will end it on this. Be thankful for the hardships, the trials, the tribulations that the Most High bring upon you, you know, because those things prepare you and build you up for what's coming. And I'm right here, so I'm gonna read this right quick. And this is Acts chapter 22, okay, verse 14. Like it. These pages. All right. Acts chapter 22, verse 14. No, I'm sorry, 14, 22. Salaki. Yeah. Acts 14, verse 22, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must, through much tribulation, enter into the kingdom of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah. So, yeah, you know, it's like, you know, the kingdom, man. We're talking about the rulership of the heavens as well as the earth. You can't turn that over to a nigger, a no count, undisciplined nigger. No, man, you got to prepare yourself. Babylon ain't gonna prepare you. There's nothing here that can prepare you outside of the doctrine of Yahweh Bash and Yahweh Shai. So we're in a good position, though we catching hell right now. We're in the best position to win.
Right.
And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about: positioning yourself to win, and and we know it's according to election. We understand that, but as Paul said, you know, Paul said, you know, I don't run as uncertainly. You better run with some certainty. This race, that is, run with some confidence. Go ahead, I.
Come. Yeah, real quick. It says, so I looked it up. It says Suicide Prevention Day is September 10th,
It's a
2024.
day. They don't have a month, huh?
Let me see.
But that's
yeah, I looked it up. Suicide Awareness Month. It ain't too much pop up.
okay. See, fake news.
Hold on, Suicide Prevention Month. Let me see. This might be. Yeah, it says September again though.
September, okay.
Yes,
So
it
what?
says September marks National Suicide Prevention Month. The day before 911.
Yeah, ain't that
Esau.
something?
God. But yeah, we ain't gonna read into this one. I'm gonna throw all these articles in the chat. So for whatever we don't read, y'all can check it out. So on top of Americans, not just Americans, wealthy Americans, they scared right now because they live in paycheck to paycheck, making six figures, over six figures. They don't know how they go make ends meet for the next 6 months, which we read in the article. But if they struggling, how much more the everyday person? You know, who and look, we the everyday people, we struggling too, but we have the Lord and we know all this supposed to happen. That's the thing. In order to get to where we want to be, it gotta happen. So we get that. But these people have no idea. They don't have no kingdom to look forward to. This they end all be all. So they losing it. So you have the rich suffering, middle class, they pretty much out of there and gone, and turning to the lower class right now, and lower class struggling, and they bringing immigrants in living better than you. You see? So people
And
losing everywhere. You got something?
no, make your point. I make your point.
That's what I say. So people losing in that point, and when they're trying to find jobs, it ain't no jobs. It ain't no the housing market trash, cars super expensive, everything expensive. Ain't no jobs really paying. And granted, yeah, certain jobs like driving and doing that, but that's not gonna sustain like families, especially in these times, man. So people can't find that. Restaurants closing, businesses closing, which even less jobs. And now you have people who retired, thought they was about to drink martinis. You see, get 2 rounds of margaritas and chill and enjoy life with the grandkids. They realizing they got to go back to work. You see, because
Yep.
and when you read into it, that unemployment, not unemployment, but their retirement money, it ain't hitting like they thought it was gonna hit. It ain't hitting like they thought it was gonna. That's the Social Security program. That's not
That's
hitting how
right.
they thought it was gonna hit, man.
That's right.
Come on, man. So look, these people about and look, 70 years old, 65, 80 years old, you gotta go back to work.
And if you got a pension and you trying to hold on to it, and then that company go belly up, you're gonna lose that pension. You know. But I was gonna say, you ever see how they do that? They'll make that trap for the monkeys in Africa, where they'll make a hole just big enough for the monkey to get his hand in,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll put a piece of food down in there. So the monkey reach in and get the food, he can't get his hand out because his fist is balled up.
Mm.
And that's with these people. For right now, they don't want to let go of the things that they got. They don't want to tighten their belt. They're full of pride and ego. You know, if you making 6 figures, you should be good.
Straight.
But no, they still, want to stay in that house that they can no longer afford, drive a car that they can no longer maintain. They want to keep that image up. But that's how, at the end of the day, that's how Babylon is. It's an image, a facade.
Mm-hmm.
The American dream, it's a facade. It ain't reality. But you see, if they could let go of some of the shit that they had, downsize, they could keep pushing. But anyway, you got it.
Nah, that's it. Ted, he don't want to let go of that what Esau be the what golfing country club. He don't want to let go of that country club.
Yeah, all of that type of shit. Yeah, the country club, like you said, the martini shit. They showed a glimpse of that in American Psycho, where there was one scene that was, I got this watch, and they was comparing watches, and it was just all a bunch of egotistical shit. I really couldn't get into the movie because, people say, "Oh yeah, this is a good movie and all this." I couldn't really get into it, but yeah, that's the mindset of people here. Got to keep up with the Joneses and the Smiths and the Johnson sisters. But go ahead,
I got a quick one, and we can hit that Julian Hassan's video. But I'm gonna just read this title. And this was put out yesterday as well from National News. It says, "Retirement Nightmare: Hordes of retired Americans may need to go back to work just to survive." I put that in the chat along with those other articles. Real quick, the second Ezra 14, as you were just saying, Elder Times of Power, how these people in this world, they holding on to this world like Lot's wife. She was holding on to what was there. Clearly, that place was about to go down.
Yeah.
She was even told, and look, she just couldn't run. She just couldn't let it go. Some in her still had care for this place. You know why? Because she couldn't see after that. Just like his daughters, they thought Lot was the only man, pretty much. They couldn't see outside of just right there. A lot of people can't see outside of America or the so-called white man, face being on the dollars and Instagram. They can't see a kingdom coming where things gonna change. So that's why, well, like Drake said, YOLO. That's why they go hard right now. Wisdom of
Yep.
Solomon, the 2nd chapter, say that let's go hard because this a little short life we about to live. That the wicked say.
Yep.
But for us, as you were saying, it should be easy for us to put to the side because we know, look, we like Moses' mindset. He rather suffer with his people, knowing the glory of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua gonna be better than the pleasures of sin for a season that was in Egypt. It's only for a short period of time. You're gonna, take the money phone pictures, man, and that's it. But 2nd Ezra 14, real quick in the GNT, and we can move on. 2nd Ezra 14. I'm gonna start at 13 because the angel is pretty much telling Esdras, look, you almost to the end of the world, but you ain't quite at the end yet. It's 12 parts and you're in the 10 and a half part. And Esdras around 427, 447 BC. We way after that. We clearly got to be at the end of the 12th part. So this is the message going into the end of the world. 2nd Esdras 14 and 13 in the GNT. It says, so set your house in order, warn your people, and comfort those who are humble, and teach those who are wise. Then say goodbye to this mortal life, put earthly cares away from you, like you were saying, put earthly cares away from you, throw down your human burdens, the things that these people worry about, the problems of America, technology, your phone died. Oh, you see, the struggles of an American citizen. The restaurant taking 5 minutes too long. Now you got to leave a review in 1 star. Put earthly cares away from you. Throw down your human burdens and lay aside your weak human nature and put all your anxieties aside and get ready to leave this world quickly. That's the mindset. You have seen many evil things already, but far worse things are about to happen, and we know that. We ain't looking to stack up. We looking. I know, like the El Tazari out here, he often say, like when he moving, he like to travel light. He don't like to pack a lot of stuff. He like to move light. Well, right, that's the mindset moving forward. These people gathering unto themselves. We trying to release things from this world, man.
That's it. Yep.
So therefore, when it come, we ain't gotta be like Lot's wife and like, man, that's my, it's time to run. You see the troops, and you just got some new J's or the new, game or the new truck, whatever you want to go back and get it. That's why Yahweh Shai say, don't go get that stuff. Just leave. It's whatever,
Mm-hmm.
Which he was talking about 7 AD, but we could apply that to now. But you was about to say something other times, Paul. You got it.
No, brother, I'm agreeing. That's right. We got to be as pilgrims on this earth. You don't want no attachments. We got to we got to be like the Jedi. Like the Jedi, they didn't have no personal belongings, other than what they needed. But that's the way you got to be. Yeah, that was it.
Even Yahweh Shai had that mindset. Nah, he had a house, but he said, man, I ain't got nowhere to live my head. Which he wasn't here for all that, man.
Exactly.
Lord had a job to do. He had something to look forward to, which he was looking forward to it. Hebrews 12 said the joy that was set before him, that's what allowed him to go through the cross and overlook the shame. Other than that, why these people worried about not having a job? Look, we can't wait on a day we ain't got no jobs. We can't wait on a day we ain't got to pay another bill, that we ain't got to worry about no lights being on. Come on, man. Because now when everybody else need help, now the Lord gonna have to intervene on our behalf. Not saying have to as if Lord, you got to do it. I'm just saying he said as long as we serve him and keep his word, then when all this happens, he gonna have our backs, man. So that's what we gonna go with. When these people don't have nothing, no food, no 911, we gonna have the Lord who gonna be doing all these things in the world. That's when it's really gonna matter. You see? But you gotta do Paul.
Right.
But other than that, well, this the last one of the various topics. Is a quick video, then we'll hop into the famine that's coming. They got the formers Salak, I'm really excited. The formers, they complaining, drought. They being taxed $300 an acre for watering crops. And also in the world, you having food wars. So at times getting hard, these nations, they ain't looking to trade no more. They saying, look, we got good grain over here. We gonna keep our grain over here. You know, we got good wheat over here. We ain't gonna sell this wheat for cheap no more. So times getting hard, even nations, they about to get into it. You know? So I'll play this quick video real quick, and you know, you can kind of speak on it other times. Just let me know when to stop it. So this from Julian Assange. It says, now a free man, but fight to clear his name may not be over. This was put out 16 hours ago. I'll go ahead and play it. Make sure the sound on.
Julian Assange has arrived home in Australia, finally free after his 14-year legal battle with the US government.
There were emotional scenes as he was greeted by family and supporters at Canberra Airport, but his legal team says the fight to clear his name is not over. Australia correspondent Emma Cropper has the story.
With the world watching, Julian Assange made a defiant homecoming. Waves of gratitude for his supporters. Well done, son! An emotional embrace and kiss on the tarmac with his wife.
Julian should never have spent a single day in prison. But today we celebrate because today Julian is free.
Flying into Canberra on the same private jet that Taylor Swift used and welcomed by the same unwavering support that's followed him around the world.
I just think it's a momentous moment to be able to come down and see Julian.
I'm very excited. It's very good he's a free man now.
Is freedom a quiet triumph for Australia's Prime Minister?
I'm very pleased that this saga is over.
The first on the phone to Assange as soon as he landed late last night. Albanese has been the driving force behind his release since 2022, when the newly elected Prime Minister first raised the case with US President Joe Biden.
Regardless of what you think of his activities, Mr. Assange's case had dragged on for far too long.
The deal worked on behind the scenes in secret. Assange's team that took on the might of the US justice system included political heavyweights such as former Prime Minister Kevin Rudd, who painted their client as a hero of the truth.
We've just negotiated the return of an Australian citizen from the most powerful country in the world, who are prosecuting him for doing journalism.
His guilty plea to one count of espionage has come at a price, though.
This is the criminalisation of journalism. And while the plea deal does not set a judicial precedent, it's not a court decision, the prosecution itself sets a precedent that can be used against the rest of the media.
And so far, the champion of free speech has stayed quiet.
Assange hasn't been seen or heard of since he arrived in Canberra last night, believed to have spent the night in this hotel. His family have asked for privacy so he can adjust to his new life with his two young sons, who've only met him during visits while he's been in solitary confinement.
You have to understand what he's been through. He needs time. He needs to recuperate.
His wife adding, freedom comes slowly, and Julian Assange's fight to clear his name isn't yet over.
Well, kia ora, Emma. So what is the next step in that fight?
Yeah.
Who his wife?
See what she gonna say?
Wife Stella said today that they wouldn't relax until Julian had arrived here in Australia. It seems he is doing just that. He has effectively been
okay. That's it.
He landed last night. Understood to.
So yeah, I'd ask the brother to go into that just briefly. Where I want to make a few points, and what he pled guilty to. Julian Assange, he pled guilty to conspiracy to commit espionage. All right, and you got some polarization with this case. Those that say, "Oh, he's a traitor," and he committed treason and all of this. And then there's those who, as you heard the lady say, well, he was just practicing. He was a journalist practicing journalism, you know. But he was the founder of WikiLeaks. All right, and WikiLeaks used to just have these dumps where they would just dump information that we would otherwise not hear anything about. Now, the issue came up where they were saying, you know, well, he was hacking into certain sites to get the information, but however he was getting it, he was getting government documents, and they're releasing them, just dumping them on WikiLeaks, and giving us, the common man, you know, some insight as to Esau's doings. All right. Now this goes back to what I was saying at the beginning of this live stream, is that, you know, all of this shit is theater. So whether it's legit or not, the woman said something interesting. And she was saying, even though there was no court conviction, that this still sets a precedence. And that is that, you know, journalists can now be targeted. Well, in the sense, we do journalism, all right, because we dig and research these stories, and then we bring it out. You know, we don't have the same sources as a Julian Assange or even Edward Snowden, but in essence, we're doing the same thing. We get information, we go through it, we vet it, and we release it, give it to the people. But we filter ours through the scriptures, through this Bible. Now that's the difference with us. If you don't mind, read that.
It says journalist. Just a quick Google definition from Oxford Languages on Google. It says journalist, a person who writes for newspapers or magazines. It says, or news websites, or prepares news to be broadcast.
Or prepares news to be broadcast. Now, that's the spirit that the brother, I believe that was the very first scripture we read, Habakkuk 2. You know, about the third verse, which says, stand ye upon the tower and watch. And then the Lord said, you know, to report what we see.
Right.
In essence, is what the brother just read. So, like I said, this could be theater, but just for the sake of running with the narrative, they now have this precedent that they can go after those who report the news. So you can see, you know, how this thing is shaping up for a famine of the hearing of the word to come. You know, but at the end of the day, what they really can't afford is I'm gonna read Nahum right quick.
Bring it out.
You can bring out you can hold Psalm 64 and 8. Let's see like here.
I got you.
This is Nahum chapter 3. I'm gonna go right to the point. This is Nahum chapter 3, verse 5. Behold, I am against thee, said the Lord of hosts. Let me jump up at verse 4 so you can understand who it's talking about. All right. Nahum chapter 3, verse 4. Because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot. This well-favored harlot is none other than America. The United States of America is the well-favored harlot. All right. That's why all the nations at one point was trying to either come here or do business with this woman, this whore, because it was profitable at one point in time. So she's well favored. People used to look at America in a positive light and hold this place in high esteem and high regard. But it goes on to say the mistress of witchcrafts that selleth nations through her whoredoms and families through her witchcrafts. This is why there's misery, poverty, sickness, death, disease, just is hopelessness all throughout the world. All right. And verse 5 says, behold, I am against thee, said the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face. I will show the nations thy nakedness and the kingdoms thy shame. And so the Most High used men, as I mentioned, Edward Snowden, and in this case, Julian Assange, and there are others. You can go back, Eustace Mullins, Jordan Maxwell. There's a host, even Alex Jones, which we know he's a shield. But they bring out certain information that we could use, to bring light to the scriptures. Just like with this story. This is showing you how they're getting ready to persecute truth being spoken, because they never said they not suing him, or they not coming after him for slander. So that means he ain't lied on nobody. He ain't falsely accused anybody. See, that would be one thing. No, the charge is conspiracy to commit espionage, which espionage is to spy or to have spies working for you, or to have a network of spies. And that's what espionage is talking about. Which, I mean, he didn't use any of this for his own benefit. Personally, he was putting it out there for the people to have. And again, it's all may have been staged, but that ain't the point. The repercussions that's coming from it is real. The repercussions are tangible. So, yeah, we see this, and you can't just take this lightly or turn a blind eye to it, because this man been all over the world. He's been to Russia, and he wanted in the UK, wanted in the US, and they said he finally pled guilty because he didn't want to be extradited to the US, because he feared that the CIA was going to take him out, which they more than likely would have. Which is shit, they probably still will. Who knows? But look, grab Psalm 64 and 8 real quick. All right.
Con. And so like, I don't know if you mentioned it, you probably have in that Nahum at the time, that whore of well-favored harlot was going into Nineveh. Just for those who may not, I know you know that. I don't know if you mentioned it or was going to mention.
Yeah.
I know.
No, you're right.
Spiritual liking that into America, which it is. It's the same thing. It's Revelation 18, a well-favored harlot is the same characteristics. America got the same ways of different kingdoms. Just to add that in case some didn't know. I don't know if you said it.
Yeah, that's right. See, the water. Yeah. That's speaking about Nineveh, but that chapter, that entire chapter can apply to America today. Why? Because what does America have in common with Nineveh? That sorcery, that witchcraft. Just like we speaking about. We don't know if this is Is it real or is it Memorex? But again, as I stated, the outcome of this situation is going to be real. Go ahead, Doc.
God, this is Psalms chapter 64 and verse 8. It says, so shall they make their own tongue to fall upon themselves, and all that see them shall flee away.
Yo, so that's talking about these Edomites, you know, revealing certain inside information that we could have it, you know, because Julian Assange is an Edomite. The people that are persecuting him or were persecuting him were Edomites. What are they upset about? At the end of the day, like I said, it wasn't because he slandered anyone, but strictly because the information that he put out was lifting their skirt, meaning basically revealing their secrets.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have these whistleblowers and whatnot come out and tell on what the beast or these different governments are doing. So yeah.
Con.
I bring out. You got something?
Nah, that was it. That was it. I was go quote that Lamentations 4, how it says, "Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom." How the cup also go pass unto you, but it says, "And thou shalt make thyself naked." So in the time Esau's gonna fall, it says he go expose himself. You know, they're coming up against themselves, and that way, you know, as you said, we was gonna get the information and tie it to the scriptures. But that's it. You got it.
No, that's beautiful, brother. So in Amos chapter 8, verse 11, it says, "Behold, the days come, said the Lord power, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shah." All right. And that's where all this shit is going. We already know about the restrictions and the constrictions and the restrictions that they're going to be applying to the internet and social media. And it's going to be outlawed to speak truth. They already started it with council culture. Well, that's the steps. First, we counsel, you know, and then next, you either get locked up or put to death. They'll counsel you permanently. So yeah, brother, that was it on that. But just keep an eye on that, because yeah, they coming after this truth, man.
Okay.
Go ahead, brother.
I even remember at that time they was using Trump, just because the words he said, they said that was the reason for, you know, the J6 situation.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
But let's see. So the next part of what it say? Drought and food wars. Which again, this ain't just gonna be a quick thing overnight. It's, you know, we look up as America and the next day as a famine. As well, us in the know, we've been paying attention. This has been a gradual thing. It's been multiple chicken factories that, you know, burnt up. You have cattle being put to death by the numbers. Crops being burned down, or whether it's by way of heat, whether it's by way of a lack of water, whether it's by way of a hurricane, tornado, whatever it is, things are being destroyed. Therefore, the farmers don't really have nothing to even sell to the stores or restaurants, so on and so forth. So prices got to skyrocket. So all these things are happening, not just in one little state, across America, man. It's different stories. But we'll highlight a couple of some articles that was just put out this week. So this first one is from End Time Headlines. Now this says the entire state of Virginia under drought warning as farmers predict first crop failure in 10 years. And as of right now, they can't it ain't no time for no crop failures. It's been a low harvest for the past couple of years since CV. Since what 2019, 2020, that these people have been complaining. But and on top of that, it's about to get hot. It's about to get even more hot.
Yeah.
So whatever water you do put down, man, look, in the morning, the brother Daniela, he put in a chat the other day, it was like 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning, it was like 80, 90 degrees already out here. So it's always is about to, the Lord about to turn it up, man. You was about to say something?
No, you got it.
We could hit this one real quick. It says, while much of the U.S. is in the midst of a scorching heat wave, there is only one state experiencing a widespread drought. What drought mean? It says a prolonged period of abnormally low rainfall leading to a shortage of water. Every county in Virginia is either under drought watch or has been issued a warning for people for Salakia, or has been issued a warning for prepare for drier than normal conditions. See, every weather condition is not normal. See, it's more than normal, more than the usual. Everything. These hurricanes, these storms, the tornadoes, the surprise, hail that just fall, so on and so forth. Everything been more than usual. Why? Because we're at the end of the world. The Lord turning it up. What that is, Isaiah somewhere, 29. How he said he gonna use the elements of the earth to bring judgment. If a brother want to post that. But it says a major drought in the state, which is home to more than 8 million Americans, threatens agriculture and water availability and could spark devastating wildfires. This is, see, to us, it's good news. Now we got, you got bros out there, believers out there, hey, the Lord will protect them. But we need this place to go down, even if it's where we stay at, man. But it says farms are specifically concerned about the issue, with many fearing they will see the first crop failure in 10 years. Virginia has about 41,500 farms in operation, covering 7.7 million acres that primarily export corn, wheat, and soybeans. Throughout the U.S., the state is the 5th largest producer of soybeans in the nation, right? And it says they are going, so this was somebody said, there are going to be crop failures down here this year, and there's something we haven't seen in 8 or 10 years. Now, this is what else somebody said. It's a dust bowl. Man, I don't dare plant the seeds. Now check this out. This prophecy. This is prophecy. Now this people complaining, farmers complaining, right? People who own farms. It's been a dust bowl. I don't dare plant the seed because it's not going to come up. Let me get a quick precept, the second Esdras. And when we go into this chapter, I don't know if it's the KJV I want. I'm going to do the KJV. I mean the GNT. Now, when you go into this chapter, remember the Lord says this end time prophecy, the coming disasters, right? And he said he's going to judge Egypt with plagues as before. So this was going into the judgment of who? This new spiritual Egypt. He said as before, like the first one. So let's see what's going to happen. What's one of the plagues that was going to come when America, or what's going to lead up to America's judgment? What's one of the plagues going to be? Because we just read an article how farmers are complaining, crops ain't growing, seeds ain't doing nothing. It says, check this out. This second Esdras 15, and I'm going to start at 13, straight to the point. I'm going to read Just to show it's talking about the spiritual Egypt of America, I'm gonna start at 11. It says, I will use 2 Ezra 15 and 11 in GNT. I will use all my strength and power to bring them out of that land. I will bring disasters upon the Egyptians as I did earlier, as the ancient Egypt. This is the spiritual one, Revelation 11 and 8. And I will destroy their country. That's America. Now, since we know it's talking about America, it says the whole land will be in mourning. It will be shaken to its foundations when I, the Lord, strike it and pound on it. What's the first one? Verse 13. The formers, right? The formers will mourn because their seed will fail to sprout. What the article said? It's been a dust bowl. I don't dare plant the seed because it's not going to come up. It ain't gonna sprout. It ain't gonna sprout. This is prophecy right here. This end time prophecy. Come on, man. You about to say something?
Yep. You good.
This end time prophecy. It says the farmers will mourn because their seed will fail to sprout. So the crops ain't growing, and their trees will be destroyed by blight, hail. So look, by diseases, little plagues here and there, but not just that. What's been also destroying these farmers' crops? These storms that's been coming through, tornadoes been coming and ripping up the ground, man. Well, that's prophecy, because it's gonna be destroyed by what else? Not just being dry and the seeds not growing, but will be destroyed by blight, hail, and terrible storms. Come on, man. And it's going to lead to people bugging out. You go into it now, it's goes into the times being hard, the famines and the cities being destroyed, and people coming against the government. We right here at the doorstep. The threshold of a door, we right there. But other than that, in natural news, this was also put out yesterday. Natural news was on fire yesterday. So this is it says Idaho farmers being fined $300 per acre for watering crops. Engineer famine now underway. So they're forcing them to destroy crops. See?
Engineered famine.
Mm-hmm. And I ain't gonna lie, I ain't really read into this when I seen the headline and I had to put it, so I read a little bit. It says Idaho farmers are speaking about the state's unreasonable and disastrous water curtailment orders that threaten their very existence. The Idaho Department of Water Resources has issued a sweeping curtailment. What curtailment means? I gotta see. Curtailment, the action or fact of reducing or restricting something. The state is threatening curtailment order affecting tens of millions of acres of farmland across the state. The state is threatening independent farmers with $300 fines per acre for watering their crops with their own wells.
See? Yeah, that's perverse. That's perverse. They can't use water from their own wells. And yet people still around here, man. They into the playoffs. The Celtics won, right? The championship, I guess, basketball. But now, baseball is in full swing. Every time I look up, damn near every time I go to camp, the Astros got a game. And it's always, I ain't gonna say packed, but I will say at least 50% capacity to 50% to full. I know, because I'm sitting in the goddamn traffic every time I got to go to camp.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, and I get it. You trying to take your mind off of shit. Some people, but in large, man, these Babylonians are not in tune with what's going on. Yeah, I ain't gonna. Hey, I ain't gonna rant. Go ahead,
No, that's it. I read a little bit. No, we can move on. It says this move comes at a time when water resources are stable across the state. So there appears to be a deliberate move to sabotage independent farmers while artificially causing water shortages that will take down hay, potato, and dairy farms across the state. These outrageous curtailment orders will upend the livelihood of countless farmers. So look, what that mean? Now where the stores, so if that informers, generational farmers, then where these restaurants gonna get their food from? You know, who gonna make deals
Exactly.
with these distribution companies to send the food out so it can be put in Walmart, HEB, Publix, you know, Kroger.
Yep. It's gonna
See?
get real to a nigga when McDonald's and Burger King ain't got French fries.
Hmm.
So they already, talking about this fake meat and all this. When y'all start eating 3D printed French fries, that's when it's gonna get real. But yeah, you go ahead.
And we went into an article about a year ago, and it says that what's in the stores now, that's not this year's harvest from the farmers. That's last year's harvest. What's in the stores now? So if they ain't really got nothing to gather now, what you think will be in them stores at the end of the year or in 2025? Nothing. Nothing. Which that's
That's
also
it.
profit. In second
Yep.
address, that second address, I think 6, how it says the sown places will appear unsown. That's the farms. That's where they sow the seed. But the farmers just said what? The seeds ain't growing. Prophecy said what? According to Esdras, the seeds ain't gonna sprout. They sow the seeds and it's supposed to sow with what? Produce. And then they take that produce and put. I'm gonna get it. Let me see. And we can move on. Sown places up here.
Yeah. Then they want to chip and max the livestock.
Mm-hmm. Kind of second Esdras 6 and 22. And it's going into the Esau world when you read it. But this is one of the sons. It says, verse 22, and suddenly, see, it's gonna happen quick. Suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The farms, they ain't go bear their fruit or whatever they grow. It says, and after that, and the full storehouses shall suddenly be empty. Ain't nothing to put in the stores. Verse 23, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall suddenly be afraid. It's gonna be that time, but you got it.
Yeah, that's all I had on it.
And they had this one too about the world headed for food wars. I just put in the chat, but what it's going into how these nations even getting stingy now. It ain't just the people in the countries, but it's the governments themselves. To the point to where say of you known for growing tomatoes. Now you ain't just giving away them tomatoes at the same prices no more, if you giving them away at all. But
Yeah, I do want to bring out that second Ezra 16 and 22 that GMS Spiritual Art 144K brought out. Let me see. Well, I started.
he got it till 18. I'm gonna start at 18.
Yeah. Might as well. Con. Yeah, okay. In second Ezra chapter 16, verse 18. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars, and the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come? It says, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourges for a minute. For all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. And that's what I was saying. With all that's going on, people's mind is still in Babylon. People here in America still have their heads squarely shoved up this horse patootie. I don't know what made me think of patootie, but these people don't have a clue of what's getting ready to come down the pipe. And that's the scripture, you know, 2 Ezra 16 and 20. But for all these things, they shall not turn away, or they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. 2 Ezra 16 and 21, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. And we see all that right now. For many of them that dwell upon earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. Yeah, it says, and the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them, for the earth shall be wasted, and the city shall be cast down. So, yeah, that was right on time right there.
Mm-hmm. That's right. All right.
Yeah.
Now, I did want to read this little part real quick on this article because it says, again, these nations about to get into it too, and that's prophecy. It says the world is facing food wars as geopolitical tensions have triggered a rise of protectionism and concerns about waning supplies, according to one of the largest global agricultural commodity traders. And you know what Joel 3 say? And a lot of these nations not really worried about agriculture like that. They more so putting they funds and they resources into their military artillery, man. Which is what it says, beating their plowshares and the swords and pruning hooks. So whatever they do got right now, I'm sure they're trying to just store up on that. Because the scriptures say they ain't gonna be focused on that too much. It's all about war right now with them, man.
Yep. And I'm sure you saw the headlines of they were saying that they're gonna, I guess the US military gonna get a soldier's fake meat. So yeah, we almost at crisis. It's almost at critical mass here in America. But you got it.
What they call it, the MRE packs, they don't give them that no more.
Shit, it'll all be GMO and probably 3D printed shit.
The Beyond Meat.
Yeah, Beyond and fake meat and all that shit.
Beyond the Beyond Lasagna one, the MRE.
All that. That's it. Yep.
They on the battlefield with that one. But I just want to read this little part. It says, this is what they saying right now. We have fought many wars over oil. Now think about the lives that was taken, the damage that was done over wars that was fought over oil. But it's going to say we have fought many wars over oil. We will fight bigger wars over food and water. Because again, man, it says claim Agri's chief executive, Sonny Verghese, was quoted as saying at the Redburn Atlantic and Rothschild's consumer conference last week. So he ain't no, he ain't no little dog, man. He was there at the Rothschild's conference at Redburn Atlantic. I got to look into that, whatever that may be about. That's something to look into. But he was there though. He had to speak in order for them to quote that in his own RT News. It's legit. In order for him to quote that, he knows something. It says, and look, we have fought many wars over oil. We will fight bigger wars over food and water. You see? And again, that's prophecy. I'm going to go to this. 2 Ezra, and we can, wind it down. If you had nothing else, other times of power. But this 2 Ezra chapter 15 and verse 13, going back to the formers, because it's going to start with this, but watch what this is going to lead to. 2nd Ezra 15 and 13 in the GNT, it says, the formers will mourn because their seed will fail to sprout. And it said in the article, the farmers saying we ain't planting no more seeds because it ain't go grow anyway. It says that their trees will be destroyed by blight and hail. Blight and hail and terrible storms. Now this was going to lead to. The world and the people in it are doomed. So not just America, but everybody. The war that will bring their destruction is very near. So at the time, farmers going to be mourning. World War III going to be drawing closer. It says nations will arm themselves. You got something?
No, you good.
It says nations will arm themselves and fight against other nations. We see that as well. And what else? There will be great political turmoil with one group trying to overpower another and gain control while ignoring the legitimate government. That's all happening right now. These nations joining together, BRICS, trying to, boy, it's many articles coming out right now. I'm sure even if we just type in on Google, something Russia said, or whatever, these nations trying to take over the old power that the West been having. That's understood right now in the world. And they proclaiming that these nations ain't scared. Joel wasn't lying when he prophesied the weak gonna say they strong now. But that's happening. You got BRICS. It says they're trying to gain control because ultimately they also trying to see who's gonna be the new leaders of this new digital world. And it says while ignoring, so all that's gonna be going on while ignoring the legitimate government, what's already set in place. Putin them already said we don't care about no sanctions and tariffs. We don't care about what it is, no boundaries. That's the word I'm looking for. Boundaries. He came all the way over here. You know, you said submarine pulled right up to Cuba, man. They don't care about what was put into place no more. They trying to see who's gonna lead the new world to come. But it says that there will no longer be free access to the cities. And that was one of the things we had. Probably ain't gonna touch on it. But going into the NWO, large-scale prisons being secretly erected in all 50 states. This was put out yesterday as well. Apostle Hall spoke on this about a week or two ago, but it says large-scale prisons being secretly erected in all 50 states. Will they be used to house illegals or force Americans into concentration camps, right?
Man.
2nd Ezra 15 and 17 in the GNT, there will no longer be free access to the cities, 15-minute cities. You're going to have the checkpoints, whether you got the digital ID, it's going to start with that. Whether you got the new Fed Now card, then eventually it's going to go to the MOTB. It says, Verse 17, there will no longer be free access to the cities. And I mind you, all this going to be going on at the same time. What? The farmers going to be mourning. We in that time. It says there will no longer be free access to the cities because, that's why, the struggle for power will bring destruction, terror, and total confusion wherever people live, driven by, so terror and all this confusion gonna happen because of what? Driven by famine that's going on in the world, food wars. The farmers complaining, Idaho, they paying $300 an acre if they put their own water on their own crops. Virginia, they complaining, look, through.
Speaking as a dragon. Yeah. The beast coming up out of the earth having two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. That's draconian. And we went into that Tuesday.
So that's one of the reasons chaos is going to happen. It says driven by, so confusion, terror, destruction going to be caused by famine. That's happening. And what else? Terrible suffering. Look, people, working, looking for jobs, ain't no jobs. It says even the wealthy Americans are struggling to make ends meet day through. People who retired thought they was about to live, get back up and go call that boss. Hope nobody took that spot, you know. But and really AI, you know, even AI, they get into it. Robots getting jobs now. You see these immigrants getting jobs because they ain't really got to get much. You ain't got to pay them much. They taking anything.
Yep.
You see? So the average American, you don't need to make that, you know, whatever it is an hour you gonna ask to make, you know, for lack of better words. So people got to go back. So terrible suffering. And that's just to mention, who knows what these people going through. It's people still who went through these hurricanes, this last storm, the storm in Houston, the tornadoes, who houses got knocked down. They still dealing with stuff. But it says driven by famine and terrible suffering, and people will assault their neighbors and mercilessly plunder their possessions. We're in those times. The famine, hard times are here. Like I said in Second Ezra, we've seen evil times, but more evil times go come. You know. But other than that, that's pretty much it. You know, I was gonna play this video of this dude, but he ain't say too much, so we ain't gotta play it. But tonight also it got that Trump versus Biden presidential debate. You know, should be coming on, I think, like 9 p.m. on the West Coast, so 8 p.m. You know, I'm in Texas, so 8 p.m. here. But you know, they gonna go back and forth, and it's been this thing. You know, Biden not competent. He'll probably fall asleep. So Trump, he asked for a drug test before to make sure they don't give him nothing to keep him up. You know, so it's already drama starting. You know, the questions they go ask Biden about his son being on crack cocaine. You see?
Yeah.
They go ask Trump about his case with Stormy Daniels. Then they go ask him about the immigrants and a couple more things. So we'll see how it go. And Lord willing, the Most High, you know, have Esau make a fool of themselves. You know, but other than that, you know, it was this article going into the prisons. We'll put this in the chat. And there was another one going into how big tech companies such as Google, Microsoft, YouTube, so on and so forth, they partnering with the World Economic Forum to have a global coalition for digital safety. They're gonna put it all on one system, you know. So other than that, Elder Tazapal, you know, hey, you know, you got it. You want to take us out, Baba Kashab?
Yeah, I want to say this. I meant to bring this out earlier before we started, but you know, the water to Apostle Aramla last week, because I wasn't for sure about Tubal. We went into Ezekiel 38, and in Ezekiel 38:3, it says, "And say, thus said the Lord power, behold, I am against thee, O God, chief prince of Meshach and Tubal." And I had said Tubal was Turkey, and that was right. And then later I corrected it and went off. Well, I went off. No, I didn't correct it. I had it right at first, and then I went off. But Tubal, you know, the water to Apostle Ramla, Tubal is Turkey, you know. And so I just want to make that correction because we went off on that last week. So, like I said, we have a responsibility to give y'all the truth. So I just want to make that correction. Tubal is speaking about Turkey. So everything else was correct. So yeah, that was pretty much it. So, you know, much love, Habatai, to all the apostles, man, you know, for keeping us on point and holding our feet to the fire. And that's what we got to do for one another. Keep each other honest in this thing of ours, because this is the thing of honesty and integrity. So, you know, Salakia to you, Akiam, and you, Akwat, out there. You know, it wasn't intentional, but hey, we got the truth for you, you know. And so that was it. So, and you didn't have nothing else, out?
Nah, if I could add, because you know you had it right. That was my fault, you know, in the first place.
No, I'm supposed to know,
you had it right,
but I'm
and I
supposed to
had
know.
said it, but you know it's all good.
Yeah, but I'm supposed to know better. I'm, you know, and see, that's the thing, man. I have so much notes. I don't even know what I have for my notes at, you know. But through the spirit, we got the correction through the spirit. And so it is what it is, brother. No, it wasn't your fault. I'm supposed to know. And so but now we know.
That's it.
Yeah, now we know. So yeah, man, hey, with that, we pray that you brothers and sisters out there were edified, you know, and shoot. All praises, honor, and glory again goes to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai,
Gosh.
Bahasham, Rachakodah. No honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. You know, hey, much love to all of you brothers out there, man, the hopefully elect. And stay strong, keep pushing, brothers. You know, I know, man, brothers catching hell on top of hell. And this is what we signed up for, man. Just hold on and endure. So, hey, to the next one, Shalom.
Shalom.